I'm Colin.
I'm David.
I'm Bradley.
And this is Overarching, the home of people from St. Louis. Well,
everyone lives here. You all 280,000
of you are in this room right now with us. It's very crowded.
Are we not counting people that don't live in the city of St. Louis?
Oh, wait.
No.
Colin just laughed at a visual gag I just did, but you wouldn't know that if you're listening in audio only.
That's right, because Overarching is brought to you by
Oh my
YouTube. Not all of it. Just overarching.youtube.com.
Is that how that works?
Nope. youtube.com/overarching. St. Louis is where you can go if you want to see us. Most of you only listen to this podcast. This is the vast majority of you only listen to this podcast. But we film it in this beautiful little studio with 280,000 people in it. You should come see. It's crazy. youtube.com/overarching St. Louis. Also brought to you by merchandise. Not the concept, but our merchandise. Overarching merch. You can get t-shirts. You can get hats. Available exclusively in person, analog, at Greenfinch.
And if you want to know what they look like, go on the YouTube channel and see where we go. Boop, boop, boop.
There it is.
2 shirts and a hat right there.
Blowing our VFX budget. It's also on our Instagram at instagram.com/overarching St. Louis.
Would you open in your web browser on your desktop PC?
Yeah, obviously. That's actually where most people see us. So I'm not concerned. You've probably already seen the merch. Well, actually, maybe not, because the algorithm is like, hey, you guys did a video about something stupid like crossing the street with your cup of coffee. We're going to make 100,000 million people see that. But you want to post your merch? 12!
Yep.
I don't want to cuss.
Horrible person.
You horrible person. Also brought to you by First Bank. The First Bank. Also John Charlton, who's a man.
Not a bank.
He's not a bank in his own. He's not fully a bank.
John Charlton is the bank in our hearts.
He is a bank man.
No. Actually, John Charlton is a bank. He is the first bank. Enter through the belly button, and his red blood cells will let you take out money. Will talk to you about getting a home loan. You can sit down inside his duodenum. Very comfortable.
Right on the Magic School Bank.
I was thinking more Osmosis Jones.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah, but still, yes.
If
that's a funnier joke.
If you can always count on Overarching to talk about duodenums.
Duodenums. It's the second time we brought it up. Something 2 nickels. Weird that it happened twice. First Bank, now located proudly in downtown St. Louis, and also John Charlton's duodenum. More on that later.
More on John's duodenum later.
Yeah. What if we
did the pledge?
I like that.
Let's do it in 3, 2, 1. I pledge allegiance to Gregory FX Daly, the one to whom we owe it all, and to our taxes, which we'd prefer to be spent on more creative ways to die. Do you long for the days long past when the shadow government conspired to kill us in ways that were inspiring, like chemtrails and FEMA and ADHD? They used to kill us in ways that they made movies about, for God's sake. Well, if you consider YouTube documentaries with graphics that would be right at home on the PlayStation 1 to be movies, then they used to kill us in ways that they made movies about, for God's sakes. What I wouldn't give to go back to a time when I could live my docile, fluoride-fueled life enabled by vaccines for just long enough to pay the taxes that the lizard people require to do it all again, instead of nowadays where you walk out your door and immediately get hit by a car. Oh, for the days when I could suffer through a life of lead paint-induced psychosis with the only moments of salvation provided by a drag of an unfiltered cigarette, instead of nowadays where you just get hit by a car. How I long for a time when deadly, fast-moving metal objects came from grassy knolls or a duel at high noon, or my unprocessed memories of Nam. I'm fine, damn it! And not the kind being driven into me at 55 miles an hour by a 5'4" man who can't see over the hood of his Cybertruck. 1% to the god of yellow envelopes ignored by all. I
I'm a
can
bus.
I can say 5'4" man because I am also a short king.
Cool.
You can't say it.
I'm a bus.
And Bradley's a Cybertruck.
No, Colin.
Huh?
I'm a bus.
And I'm a train. I don't get the bit. I don't mean to no-butt you. I don't mean to no-bus you.
We're talking about the transit plan.
Transit. Is that
I'm
what
a bus. What am I wearing, Colin?
Oh, the bus. Jerome Bettis. He played for the Rams for like a month, dude.
I'm a bus.
No one knows this.
I'm a bus.
Hey, people know that Jerome Bettis played for the Rams. People know
Just
that Wayne Gretzky's a blue.
Right. I was just going to say. It's
The greatest blue
but
ever.
you know, Wayne Gretzky,
Around the same time.
No.
no.
Around the same time.
Didn't Wayne Gretzky play in 2000 and Jerome Bettis was like 95? Like we talked about the other day? I think so.
Wayne Gretzky was in 2000.
Yeah, he was. He was definitely 2000.
No.
But you know, Wayne Gretzky,
No.
apparently, a piece of crap Wayne Gretzky in real life.
Yeah, I've heard that.
But lives here, though.
Yes.
Because he married someone from my alma mater,
Wayne.
Truman?
Wayne does good things
Pattonville.
for St. Louis.
Pattonville.
Wayne does good things for St. Louis. We can say that.
But
Yeah.
he asks people if they know who he is.
Do you know who I am? And our
No, they didn't. No,
Or-
I'm pretty sure. If I remember the anecdote correctly, which we won't. I
don't wanna-
dox, it was. You don't know who I am, do you?
which, you know what? Honestly, like, I mean, and this is, we're talking about our theater friend who doesn't sports. But fair question, I guess, from Wayne Gretzky. He is the most famous person from one of the four popular sports to walk the face of the earth.
He
So,
is
like,
the most famous person in an entire country.
That's fair. It's like if you didn't know if Michael Jordan was like, do you not know who I am? Like, it's
Yeah.
Michael Jordan. I get it. Like,
I
it's kind of pretentious to ask, but
It's-
also
Kind of fun that the great one. That is his nickname.
that is his nickname.
That people call him consistently.
But back to Jerome Bettis, real quick.
But-
Yeah. More importantly,
St. Louis has now has come out with a plan
The transportation mobility plan.
to get more Jerome Bettises on the street and less people being plowed over by is there a sports guy called the car or the truck?
Well, I mean, you could just use Albert Pujols. He was called the Machine.
Well, buses are machines
Yeah.
and trains are machines.
Yeah.
People do get hit by buses and trains, but less.
Why does St. Louis has a lot of transportation-related nicknames for their athletes?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, they're moving. And they're moving people to be inspired.
Or food-related, Big Mac.
The Transportation and Mobility Plan, the TMP.
TMP! Dynamite!
TMP. Copyright violation.
Watch me explode!
Nope.
When I
No,
crash
no.
into a vehicle.
We are going to do the very, very sexy thing that all of you have been waiting for and detail the transportation mobility plan so you don't have to. Those of you who listen to this show that are like, God, I wish I could stop being hit by cars so much. This is for you. The transportation mobility plan is, I'm going to try that one again. The transportation, is it transportation and mobility?
Yeah,
it is.
transportation
Transportation and mobility plan was born out of a bunch of surveys that the zoning planning committee and some other, people in the city of St. Louis transportation sphere, went out and talked to regular people about. They were like, hey, do you want to keep getting hit by cars or do you want to not keep getting hit by cars? And the vast majority of people were like, I could stand to not be hit by cars as much. And so they came up with this 200 plus page document.
Well, I was going to say it's a 165-page document. Wait, no, that's only how many PDF pages
two pages per PDF page.
327 pages.
It's a lot of pages, and we're going
to read them all to you right now.
verbatim. Table of contents. But no, we're going to summarize each little part of this for you so you don't have to. And this is a plan.
I stared at the camera too long. Now my eyes are watering.
He's just overcome by the beauty of the plan.
Listen, if somebody talks to me about prioritizing and setting the hierarchy of transportation modals,
You're going to start crying.
I'm gonna cry.
These
So you, Colin, you said this is a plan.
This is
we're
a
gonna
plan.
So what is this? This is a plan. This means that we get a train, right?
It means that they're building it right now outside our window here on Jefferson. They're building the green line, baby. And this is green themed. This whole thing is green, so that must mean something. No, it's a plan. It means that this is what they are outlining for the city's plan moving forward, the types of development that they're trying to encourage, and the ways that they're going to change the streetscape to enable more modes of transportation to function safely. And by more modes of transportation, I mean not just people in cars. I like to call it the hierarchy of amounts of meat exposed.
Also just bikes.
Also just bikes.
Say that again?
The hierarchy of amounts of meat exposed.
HOA.
HOAME, the home. That's if I'm walking down the sidewalk, I got all my meat exposed. Me, the sidewalk, and my Johnson. Look it up.
Are we just going to throw in that commercial?
No, we're going to make people look it up themselves.
My gal, and my Johnson. Nope.
It's a car. It's a car. But
it's an outboard motor for a fishing boat.
there it is. Transportation. But if I'm walking down the sidewalk, I'm full meat. I'm just me.
Full bore.
Full meat. Never go full meat.
You're not even in like the level 1, Ranger leather armor class, like just straight up.
I'm in my
nothing.
cotton clothes. Hopefully.
Yeah. Link with a stick.
Which, when I get hit by a car, won't even contain my blood.
And you have a Bible in your front pocket to protect you.
It was a speech.
Oh.
Folded up
in half.
More than 7 times.
Yep. But no. That was a Teddy Roosevelt reference. Also look it up. It's
Teddy.
great.
I bet Teddy Roosevelt can fold a paper more than 7 times.
Yeah, he was.
Mythbusters did.
Okay. Staying on topic. The next hierarchy of meat being bike lanes, where I have a little bit of metal, but I'm still mostly meat. And then it's cars. And then it's buses, because it's a lot of meat people inside of one big metal. And then trains, because, we like them. This is why I don't write the plan.
Trains are just meat wagons.
Yep. So.
Ooh, can I talk about what the TMP can do, and then you can talk about what it can't?
Yes.
I like that because
let's introduce it with these quotes, though.
Oh, yeah, do that.
These quotes are pretty great. One is by the city of St. Louis. Major streets plan of 1948. Streets are indispensable to the proper function of a city. Cool, thanks. Then there is a time for departure, even when there's no certain place to go. Just Tennessee Williams. And then there's, when you come to a fork in the road, take it. Good old Yogi Berra. This is the first page of the TMP.
We're quoting Yogi Berra?
And yes, who's not from here. At least Tennessee Williams is from here.
Yogi Berra's from here.
Is he?
Did you just say Yogi Berra is not from St. Louis?
I forgot. Yeah, I guess.
Go to fiery hell.
Okay.
Go.
I'll just go to New York. I'll just go to New York like he did.
Yeah.
And die. Like he did.
Did you win 10 rings?
Not for St. Louis, no. Neither did he.
Yes, he did. He won them for his hometown. He didn't win them for the Yankees. He won them for his mom and dad.
Okay. He won it for that star on the Del Mar
Italians
Walk of Fame.
win things specifically for their moms.
Okay.
Ever seen Goodfellas?
Ever seen anybody from New Jersey not talk highly about their mother? Take your mother's name out of my mouth. Yeah,
this car bomb's for Ma.
Jesus.
This car bomb. This bike bomb.
Yeah.
That's a future I can live for.
Yeah. Anyway, the TMP. What is it, David?
The things that it can do.
Oh, what can it do?
They have labeled out 6. We'll just call them boxes of things that it can do. All right. It can set a vision and prioritize things. So it outlines like a long-term transportation goal of sustainability, community needs, and economic development, which is like the biggest, broadest umbrella term that's ever been invented by a white guy that went to Johns Hopkins. 2, it can guide infrastructure investments. So it can have the city and partnerships prioritize things for funding streets, like funding for sidewalks,
I'm a rich guy.
I'm a public transit.
Mr. Alderperson Lemon. I'm a I'm a rich man who wants to build a building and make lots of money off of my people who rent from me. Where should I build it and what should I build?
Okay, Paul McKee. If you were to ever actually build something in your lifetime, you should never build it ever again. Don't ever live in this town ever again.
I've rethought. I've changed my ways, and I've decided to use my vast wealth for good.
Oh, good. You should follow your buddy Jack Kotar and get out of town.
Should I build a thing? I was just waiting for the yes and. Should I build a
You're waiting for the yes and.
A 5 to 6 story apartment building on a major thoroughfare with access to not just car transportation and commercial uses on the street?
Yes and.
Number three,
support policy development. It provides foundation for new policies that promote safety, equity, and multimodal transportation options. If you're just learning that this is a bunch of like mumbo jumbo, and you're slowly realizing that this 320 or 340, whatever it is, page, it does get a lot more dense than these boxes. I promise you. The other things it can do, it can coordinate with regional and state partners. It informs land use and development decisions, which we've already talked about previously in the Sloop, and provide a framework for grant funding and investments. So it essentially creates this next one. This creates the framework.
I think it's really easy to, like, no jokes. I think it's really easy to understand or to sit here and be like, oh, it says nothing because it just says a bunch of stuff that I don't actually comprehend.
I'm just getting that out of the way.
No, I
know.
Like what I'm saying, I'm saying this to myself and to other people listening. I think it's really easy to like listen to those 6 things, and they're corporate-y, like they're broad scope corporate kind of jargon but they're names of things, right? Yeah. And they're accomplishable tasks, like, but not when you zoom out to that macro level. Understanding what it goes into accomplishing those 6 things, requires, it's a Dunning-Kruger curve, right?
Yes.
And we hear that and we don't know enough about it, but they're all words I understand. Yes. So that must mean it means nothing, but it's not. That's not true.
To put it in a practical way, yes. What, like, this is just a plan. Why are we like the never-ending study kind of thing where it's like, we spent millions of dollars on a piece of paper that says, wouldn't it be nice if, but like the trick here is, like, for instance, number 4, coordinating with partners like MoDOT. Like MoDOT, there are some, roads in our town that are like designated state highways. Gravois, it's a designated state highway. So like when it comes to like the actual spending money and allocating money to like do maintenance and repairs and fix things on a regular cycle, like MoDOT is involved in that. So when it comes to that cycle of like, hey guys, it's time to like pave some stuff, reline the streets, like do this, whatever. If they're just like, hey, let's come in and do it, we'll do it the same as last time. But if we say, oh, hey, guys, thanks so much for coming in. This time we have a TMP, and we need you to do it based on these standards.
So
that and that is like, we've talked to people on the street, said, hey, do you want to get hit by cars? They said no. And we said, great. MoDOT comes and says, hey, we're going to repave and reline the street. Like, great. By the way, we've talked to people, and we have a plan for people getting hit by cars less. When you paint the lines, can you paint them a little different?
Well, so St. Louis hasn't had a plan like this and a plan like the Sloop since like 1948.
Like a modernized.
Right. Yeah.
Plan, yes.
So like what that means is that we had that plan way back when, executed that plan. And then
looked back.
As culture and needs changed and things broke, not just potholes, but like systems broke, we'd put a Band-Aid on it. And put a Band-Aid on it and put a Band-Aid on it until now we have a city that is just Band-Aids. We have a city structure that's just repairs. And it's like, it's a city of Theseus, right? Like we have a plan of Theseus when it comes to roads and it comes to street systems and it comes to how we move about the city.
Except it's not being, replaced by, crafted pieces to fit back in the ship. It's just like, slap some duct tape on it.
Correct.
Like dads everywhere rejoicing, saying, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Well, we've made a plan.
So yeah, this is instead of the city of Theseus, we are doing a part of just building a new city, a new ship, so to speak. Yes.
So
David.
to branch off of we're putting Band-Aids and we're putting duct tape on things for the past 80 some years. What is it? 75, 80 years, whatever it is.
Yeah, that's math. I don't do that.
You do the math. Comment.
77.
Stop doing math. No one could know.
Great. The duct tape that we're talking about, the Band-Aids, are mostly car related and highway and like breadth and width of road related. The vast majority of problems in the United States of America and in post-industrial cities, Rust Belt cities like ours, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland, even Milwaukee, like
Detroit.
Yes, like all of these cities were absolutely destroyed by the 1955 Highway Act, and becoming more reliant on car transportation and moving people with cars inefficiently has, like, all of the Band-Aids and duct tapes that we're talking about is lane widening or making the highways go faster.
You said a thing. Moving people with cars more efficiently. That's an oxymoron.
Yes.
So it's like,
thank you.
In trying to get cars to be the most efficient mode of transit, you've prioritized the most inefficient kind of transit.
Correct. So the TMP, the whole point of it is to clarify and set expectations on the hierarchy and prioritization of the modes of transportation and explaining the results of these comprehensive studies that showcase the current forms of those transportations that can be improved for safety, overall health, overall city economic growth, and most importantly, get rid of goddamn cars.
Because whether you like it or not, people want to live where they don't get hit by cars.
Well,
it's true. But where am I supposed to park?
That's the best way I can distill it down.
Yeah.
So,
and I know you've got some specifics on that we'll get to later, but let's hit the...
We've basically outlined parts 1 and 2 of this. The introduction, which is what can it do, what can it do. It's a plan.
Yeah.
It's not building a train, but it is making room for one, essentially.
Correct.
In the engagement summary, which is just like where it did its outreach. So this study was, conducted over 2 years. Some of you might have gone to it. I think the people who listen to Overarching are probably the type of people who went to these TMP studies or filled out the survey online like I did. And like,
me too.
They basically just asked a bunch of questions about, what you want to see in your city. All these bike lanes that have been going up, all around you, that if you live in the city, you've probably seen these protective bike lanes, all the stuff on Kings Highway that, closed it down for months ish, but like now is just like a pleasant place to be in a lot of places where it wasn't before. That's the kind of stuff that the TMP allows for to happen.
A lot more quickly.
Yes. Because the
stuff that you're seeing right now on Kings Highway and like Tower Grove, the connector and all that, was actually during Lyda Cruisen's time in office.
Yes.
Not to Charlotte Jones.
That's how long stuff takes.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
is how long stuff takes.
And speaking of that, getting down to the third part of this, was just the safety action plan.
Wade's World
VFX. The marquee item of this is the 50 by they call it the 50 by 50 plan, a goal for fatal and serious crash reduction. And I gotta say, dude,
I thought you were just gonna stop.
Like
the goal for fatal crashes.
The goal, we gotta get more of them. So St. Louis region has had in 2023 had over 600 fatal or serious pedestrian accidents. They all skew more toward areas with less car access, which is crazy and counterintuitive. We'll get to that. There's a graph later on that I'm going to bring up now that correlates in the city with like less. So like almost one out of every 5 people in the city of St. Louis don't have access to a car. It's 18.5%,
which is
higher than you would think.
Say that again, Colin.
18.5% of people in the city of St. Louis do not have access
over
to cars.
1/6
or households, excuse me.
Households
Don't have access to cars. And it's wild when you look. They did a map that correlates the amount of fatal pedestrian related deaths or fatalities and serious injuries for pedestrians, and it skews toward the places where people don't have a lot of cars, because people are out walking in dangerous environments because they don't have any infrastructure that is designed not for them. And the less cars that are out on the road, they get hit by. And in the city, it's the north side, where frankly, less people live. So the population density is low. More people are walking and more people are dying, which is an insane correlation if you think about it for more than a couple seconds. However, with that in mind, the TMP, just to prove we're not just shills for it, the TMP outlines this thing called the 50 by 50, a goal for fatal and serious crash reduction. It aims to reduce serious injuries and fatalities in the St. Louis region 50% from its 2022 baseline by 2050. That is frankly not enough.
Not enough. Not even remotely.
That is.
Would you take a compromise of a 30% reduction by 2035?
That's the next paragraph, isn't it? Additionally, an interim target, a goal by 30% reduction by 2025 is on non-interstate roadways. Okay.
Still not enough, but okay.
Like, come on, guys. Like it, if we're just setting goals here, I mean, I don't know. I get that you got to be realistic.
Well, but what? I mean, here's the thing.
Cars are dangerous, period. I'm going to talk my way into agreeing with this.
Yeah.
Cars are dangerous, period. And if they're taking into account interstates into this, I think I don't know. I don't really give a crap about interstates. Like, I'm gonna be real with you. As far as like transit mobility is concerned, I'm not thinking about interstates.
Get rid of them.
I mean, like they serve a purpose. They should
once you're outside the city center.
Sure. Yeah.
They serve a purpose once you're outside the city center.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. But when it comes to multimodal transportation, the interstates are for one mode of transportation, and they're fine. They get the
express bus.
They
Colin.
get constructed. Well, they canceled all those. The highways are under construction all the time. There's no dearth of highway infrastructure, hand wringing in this country. We love them. That's not the point of the TMP. This kind of thinking is about everybody else and not dying on the street. If you walk on the highway, yeah, like you're going to die. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. I'm not advocating for people being able to walk on the highway.
Overarching, as always, is brought to you by First Bank. Bradley, St. Louis's most bank. Not only are they the first bank, they're St. Louis's largest local bank, actually. Specifically, we're sponsored by John Charlton. Thank you, Colin. A lender with the First Bank mortgage team. If you or a loved one has ever been affected by house and need to talk to a professional about money for house, John Charlton will be your house money man. John is even my personal house money man. That's right. And I trust him with all of my house money needs. Thank you, John Charlton. Thank you, First Bank Mortgage, for sponsoring the show.
Do you think I could do like a sign flip thing with this? Like a...
Jesus. Oh, God. Well, what's so interesting is that these highways cut through where there is just a crap ton of people.
That's also true, right? Like I talk about walking to Walgreens from my house a lot. Like Walgreens is the kind of place, like a pharmacy, is the kind of place like
a convenience store.
A convenience store is the kind of place where, like a coffee shop or a local supermarket, where you should be able to walk to and from. And if you want to, if we're in a neighborhood that we're describing as quote unquote like walkable, livable, that kind of thing, the liberal shills that we are, Walgreens is 15 minutes as the crow flies, or as the crow walks from my house. If there was like a straight path from it, I live in McKinley Heights, not to dox myself, but like I can see Walgreens for like 10 to 15 minutes on my walk, but have to navigate around the 4455 interchange and like the intersection of Truman Parkway and Lafayette, which are two extremely car-centric thoroughfares in the middle of three extremely walkable neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Like, say what you want about Peabody, but like it's a walkable neighborhood. And Soulard and Lafayette Square on both sides, absolutely paragons of walkability in the city of St. Louis, but bounded by these deadly freaking places with, you know, bullets you can drive walking down. And it's, yeah, I almost get hit by a car every time I cross the little weird Lafayette 44 interchange that doesn't need to be there. And Truman Parkway has been closed going on the highway for like 2 years at this point. Just close it.
Yeah.
Just close it. Stop it. Anyway, that's my own. That's my addition to the TMP. So TMP, setting realistic, albeit nihilistic, safety standards for the future. Less people die, good thing, I guess.
Well, and I guess, and the thing is, like, the goal is the headline, but the goal is not the plan. Like,
correct.
You know, the goal is a measuring stick, and that's the thing is, like, I don't think people are saying like, hey, if we can get to this, it's good enough. It's saying like, hey, all the things that we want to do to try and fix this problem, like, they should hopefully at least accomplish this number. And if we don't get that number, then something went horribly wrong.
Right. Yeah. And I'm sure it has a little bit to do with politicians not wanting to break promises. By 2050, they look back and they're like, oh, wow, so many less people are alive. But number 3, safety. Number 4 and 5 is where the meat is, baby. And that's why we're talking about this. Number 4 is our street design framework, and number 5 talks about multimodal integration. Street design framework, I will put some stuff up on screen, so if you're not watching this on YouTube, do it, or just pull up the TMP yourself and just
read all of it,
slobber over these street cross sections.
So beautiful.
They put all their energy into like designing this pamphlet and not into designing their website, which is fine. Like, this is a better use of your resources, but we found a few copy editing things on the website that's silly.
Yeah.
Get in our DMs. We'll
yeah.
But like in terms of like the street design frameworks for their street type guidelines, talking about, you know, your like neighborhood local, your neighborhood connector, your neighborhood main street, your neighborhood network. There's so many different graphics and like design considerations that you could, like, if you're really into like architectural designs, and
if you're into street that streetcraft.io or whatever it is,
and graphs, this is the
if you're a dork like us.
It's really beautiful, by the way, and we need to commend the artists that put this together.
So let's take that one arterial picture.
Let me
so
get
just
down
a
there.
quick while David's finding it, a quick primer for
mixed use arterial.
A quick primer for our listeners who might not know about the hierarchy of roads real quick. That's what number 4 is. This is one of those things that, like, once you know, you can't unsee it. The roads do have a hierarchy that should be followed, and when they're not followed, that's our moments where you are like, oh wow, I almost hit that guy. It's probably because it wasn't following a roadway hierarchy. You got your highways, which kind of count, but then you have your arterials, which are like streets like Jefferson or Grand or Kings Highway, which connect to connectors, which are roads like Russell or Eichelberger, or roads like that, like MLK, you know, and that connect to local roads, which are the roads you live on. Sometimes people live on arterials, and it usually sucks to live on an arterial.
Really sucks.
Some connectors, it could go either way. Local roads are the ones you know. Local roads are the ones that you probably live on.
So mixed use arterials. This image we're going to put up if you're watching right now. If you're not watching, Watch. So the multimodal priorities, we can look in the bottom
What
left.
page
of
is
this
that on?
graph. This is 208/209, but 208. If you look in the bottom left, it talks about the way that this city is prioritizing their multimodal transportation. You see the user type, and then you see priority low, medium, and high. Whoever takes priority here. This, as far as I'm concerned, is not enough. We are saying that pedestrians are the highest priority, which is true and should always be the highest. But equating to that is also vehicles and trucks. We are equating vehicles and trucks to pedestrians in hierarchy.
Not to be
it's
like
not.
Not to be like,
in what world is that okay?
Not to be like, please, I appreciate, I love the saltines, Mr. Cratchit. Please give me more. I don't mean to be like that, but like having pedestrians and transit being the same amount of priority as vehicles and trucks is a vast improvement.
It is.
And please, I love my gruel, sir. Please give it to me. That it's the bare minimum.
The idea of vehicles and trucks being the highest priority are highways. When you get off the highway, vehicles and trucks are no longer the highest priority. I don't care if this is a main arterial. Main arterials automatically should like.
I don't know. As urbanist scum as I am, I kind of disagree with that.
I don't
I
care
think
where you are.
arterials should be, at least in our infrastructure, equal. The closer to local roads you get, the more pedestrian friendly it should be.
Like
there's no reason that you should feel unsafe on an arterial road, though.
Totally. I understand if you go one page up or 2 pages back, I guess, to 204, like mixed use connectors, they prioritize vehicles and trucks as a medium priority, and pedestrians, bicycles, and transit as the highest priority. And I understand that. And if you are going to be on foot, or if you're going to be moving via public transit, then your connectors are typically where we should be sending those people down. You should not necessarily be sending yourself down a main arterial.
Sure.
My point is, main arterials are still public facing and still pedestrian facing.
Yeah.
Which is why pedestrians are on the high priority list.
I think
but there should be a fourth category, which is pedestrians on its own.
Sure.
That's my point.
That's fair. I think this.
I mean, you can't look at this cross section and say that they're not putting a lot of distance between people and cars.
They are.
And they're not making it a good place. Like this is.
I'm devil's advocate right now, Bradley.
Well, you're wrong.
This is a. Well, you're wrong. Well, this is a. You
are
thanks. 100% correct improvement. This is a vast improvement. If you were to do this picture, if you were just put this picture right now on Jefferson, my God, what an improvement!
Well, so here's the trick, or on Gravway, but here's the trick. So like, let's schedule time for the Patreon recording for us to get into the nitty gritty of what we like and don't like about stuff. But like, what big picture? Why should Joe Public, Jane Public, non-binary persons? I was gonna make a non-binary person name joke, but I'm not allowed to. But River Public. What does? But why should anybody be like excited about this or like want to learn about this? Because like we have, being someone who has lived most of their life car dependent, and like, hey, it's in the world we live in, the most convenient way to get around is a car.
Yep.
A personal vehicle. And so like, why should we be excited about making the road a worse place for cars to be?
Well, because it's not. Here's the thing. What this is talking about isn't just people getting hit by cars and dying. It's about car accidents. If you are the type of person that complains about it, I can never find a place to park at a place like Greenfinch.
Mm-hmm.
I can never find a place to park. And God, I hate driving down insert street here. Which is something that everybody feels, right? Like it's, you go to a place in the city and it's only street parking and you're like, oh, I hate this. Or if you are driving down a road like Gravois and you feel like you're in Mad Max, like, yeah, that's correct. This aims to fix both of those things. if you hate parking on Jefferson, it's because parking on arterials is bad and should be eliminated. And it's not only just about the parking, it's about like being a person even in a car on those streets. For example, when I try to turn out of this very studio located on Jefferson, the parked cars make me have to pull out into the street to a point where, I just might get hit by people coming down the street.
Yeah.
And it's not just about the act of parking. We have a parking lot here at this studio. Like we
have off-street parking.
Yeah, we have off-street parking. A lot of places do. But when you pull out into the street, you're just like, man, hope I don't die because of the parked cars.
Yeah, and honestly, that's pulling back to like the small details of things like bump outs and stuff like that, like for just like the amount of visibility and danger caused by cars parked on the street in certain places, too close to intersections, too close to crossovers, is another one of those things like once you see it, you can't unsee it. And it's like one of like the most dangerous hazards that is the easiest to fix.
And yeah, you wonder why people in St. Louis aren't outside a lot. Like, I've heard people for the 10 years I've lived here be like, wow, walking around, not even just downtown, walking around St. Louis feels like a ghost town. And it's because everybody, you drive to a place and you park in their garage and you go up and you have a good time and you leave in your car. No one goes outside because there's no pedestrian infrastructure or no meaningful pedestrian infrastructure. And I'll give you an example. Downtown in the last 10 years has done a lot of work on making it a pleasant place to be outside, crime, whatever. But like the Arch Grounds and Keener Plaza and that whole stretch, and then also by City Park, people are outside all the time.
Yeah.
Like it is a great place to be. And the 7th Street connector adds to that. Make Market Street better. It's too wide. They're already doing it up past Jefferson, but like bring it on down, baby. Like, and I'm sure that's in some plan. This kind of plan allows for the city writ large to make outside a good place to be.
Yeah.
For you in your meat skin.
So I think if you want to read a decent chunk of this and you want a good meaty explanation, if we're just going to do
like a baseline of like understanding,
pages 154 through 228 I think are the street type guidelines.
Yeah,
the street type guidelines, and then like the graph that's on the next couple pages that breaks down the typical land use context of the neighborhoods, the central areas, the mixed use corridors, the open spaces, and the industrials. Talks about your neighborhood locals, your district locals, your mixed use locals, your park locals, and then it goes connector, main streets, your network, your gateways, your arterials, and it breaks everything down, which like hierarchical.
Yeah.
This is the best, honestly, the coolest graph that you're going to be able to apply to your daily life is on 156 to 157. This graph of land use context does such a good job of explaining the vast majority of what your questions and concerns might be of this 320 some page document.
And there's a bunch of maps.
Really beautiful.
There's a bunch of maps beneath that too that show all your park access and bike lanes and road diets.
Yeah.
And transit emphasis and stuff like that, which includes the planned transit expansion on Jefferson still.
Yeah.
Because
it was in the plans until recently.
Well,
but we don't have time.
It's still in the plan.
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
It's just it's BRT now.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we'll see.
Hopefully.
And to kind of wrap it up here a little bit.
Yeah.
Not
a little bit, completely. We're there.
Yeah. I will say the green line has made me skeptical in a way that, my optimism about progressive stuff in St. Louis, to the chagrin of all the people who like to say, I told you so, has been dampered by this, like in a way that it really made me question, my love for this city. And and in a way that was very, I guess privilege oriented. Like the minute the city broke a promise to me, I'm like, oh fuck, but like this plan gives me hope for this city being a better place to be a human being. It seems to be happening in spades, at least, right now, but those plans were made 10 years ago. So like, I don't know, dude, hurry up.
Yeah.
That's all.
But also like, it's a bad thing that things take this long, but also recognizing that things take this long is all the more reason to keep doing the work now in spite of the lack of instant gratification.
Right. Yeah. You have to do the work or else it's never going to happen. But I hope that the Spencer administration and the Zoran Mamdani contingent in this world are not equating those two by any means, but are doing their damnedest to fix the systems that make things take this long on a hyperlocal scale.
Yeah.
And before we wrap up, if you want to know the people to thank, go all the way down to 324, 325. Your two older people that really had the biggest hand in this planning commission, Alderwoman Shamim Clark Hubbard and Alderwoman Ann Schweitzer.
Friends of the show.
This has been on their minds. They've been working tirelessly with the help of all of these people that we don't have time to mention. So there's a lot of people in this city that care about your safety and your ability to move. Think about that. That's pretty cool. That should make you feel pretty proud of your city.
Freedom of movement is a fundamental right.
The most important.
The most important
when it comes to our opinion.
Well, yeah. I mean, like you can't have access to food or shelter.
Yeah.
If you can't move.
If you want to see your neighbors struggle less, this is one of the best ways I've seen this city put its time and effort into actually addressing that. Now, this is.
But you have every reason to be skeptical.
It is somewhat theater in the fact that it is just a document. But now we can hold people to it.
But like theater, it's a script.
Yeah, it's a script.
Hey.
So
we'll see if they follow it. Yep. This has been TMP Arching. This has been TM Parching. This has been Overarching. Overarching is recorded at Fly North Theatricals here in sunny South City, St. Loogie Magoogie, right on Jefferson Avenue. Our producer is Ashley Brandmeier. Logo designed by JP Burks, aka Scrub. Follow us on social media at Overarching ST Lewis. If you're not watching this on YouTube, you should. And if you are, please multimodal your way down to that subscribe button and smash it. Give it some love.
We've got lots of followers on our socials, but we're almost at 1,000 on YouTube, which feels like we should be above 1,000, but we really don't give a lot of time to YouTube.
We don't. But do it. Subscribe.
We're almost there. We can actually create
take the protected bike lane off this video and go down to that subscribe button.
Can actually build that community out a little bit more once we hit there. So
there you go. And that's that. I'm Colin.
I'm David.
I'm Bradley.
This was Overarching.
See you on the train.